article in the video how the bank held its own. RBI's inflation management. Inflation has been largely the result of supply side shock from vegetable price caused by crop damages due to unseasonal rainfalls, tomato, onion, potato in late 2019, and widespread supply side disruptions after the outbreak of pandemic. Would have a constrained monetary policy committee from supporting growth amidst the unprecedented loss of life and livelihood. Therefore, it was unnecessary to provide lifeline to economy at that juncture by focusing on recovery. Monetary policy committee shifted to policy tightening to control inflation when growth impulses become more definitive and entrenched across the sectors. Moreover, the wide tolerance band of 200 BPS plus or minus in inflation targeting framework was specifically designed to accommodate such supply shocks. First, Monetary Policy Committee highlighted the inflation concerns and voted to raise the policy repo rate. However, as per Sengupta, the governor's statement of the same day noted that RBI will ensure an orderly completion of government borrowing program. This, according to Sengupta, created confusion as lowering inflation and lowering government bond yields are contradictory objectives. Second, as per Sengupta, Monetary Policy Committee kept repo rate unchanged while RBI changed the reverse repo rate during the pandemic, meaning that the fixed width of the corridor was lost and the Monetary Policy Committee lost its role in setting interest rates and so its credibility. We must remember that inflation targeting countries, because of their sole focus on inflation, experience a lower inflation volatility but higher output volatility. Higher output volatility entitles a higher sacrifice ratio, the proportion of output foregone for lowering inflation. Next topic is path to equilibrium. This article talks about disrespects is an unfortunate human trait, and particularly when it is expressed towards God and faith of fellow humans. Nipun Sharma offensive response to Taslim Rehmani hurtful words about Lord Shiva on an Indian TV news channel was directed at the most revered prophet of Islam. It was competitive verbal dispute. I am hurt, so I will hurt. It leads to protest, violence, and cases being registered across the spectrum. If we don't question how do we grow or resolve or reform, the spirit of respectful probing also extended to the religion and gods of all people within Indic culture. It is proving difficult in the debating square today. Why? Nobel Prize winning mathematician John Nass's game theory comes to mind, remembering the movie Beautiful Mind, starring Russell Crowe. It is based on Nass's extraordinary life. India is currently facing this knotty issue of competitive insults to the religion or gods or prophets. Radical woke Marxists routinely criticize Hinduism. Recently, livid remarks were made on sacred sibling by journalists from leftist and Twitter-based fact-checking websites and politicians mainly from West Bengal, Maharashtra. Such noxious comments have pained and offended the innumerable Hindus. At the same time, these same peoples are called for head of the Sharma for her nauseous words on the prophetess of Islam. The common theme is that religion of the majority in the land, Christianity in the West and Hinduism in India is attacked. It is easier to gain traction when hitting out against the dominant majority group from an appropriate position of self-victimization. Not just one side. Shockingly, the tragic blasphemy killing of Kamlesh Tiwari in Lucknow in 2019, Kishan Barwad in Ahmedabad 2022 are freely used as an examples by radical Islamists to spread fear, even as their radical woke Marxist Indian allies airbrush these from mainstream media. Even India's permanent representatives to UN, T.S. Tirumurthy, has been making a case for treating phobias against all religions equally. All religions can be treated with respect and all questioned and reformed with a gentle nudge, as propounded by Richard Thaler. Casteism in modern Hinduism can be quizzed using the sterling words of Bhagavad Gita. Misogyny in modern Islam can be questioned using an inspiring example of Lady Khadija, and child abuse in church can be interrogated using a true message of Jesus Christ. This is not impossible to achieve. Let us confidently push back against radical woke Marxism and radical Islam. Next topic that we are moving is about the one country two system here to stay. There is no reason to change Hong Kong's one country two system formula of governance. Britain returned Hong Kong to Chinese rule in July 1, 1997, with Beijing promising wide-ranging autonomy, unfettered individual rights and judicial independence at least until 2047. Missile strike kills 21 in Ukraine, Odisha. Russian hit hours after troops given off Snake Island. Kyiv calls it payback. Russian missile attack on residential areas in the coastal town near Ukraine port city of Odisha early Friday. Next article, many Russian weapons tycoon have faced no Western sanctions. This article is all about as Russia's military continues to pound Ukraine with missiles and other lethal weapons. Western nations have responded in part by targeting Russia's defense industry with sanctions. The latest round on Tuesday, when US issues new sanctions on some arms makers and executives at the heart of what it dubbed Russian President Vladimir Putin war machine. Next article is all about to save its honey industry, Australia is wiping out bees by millions. The deadly varroa mite, the mites which are reddish brown, about size of a sesame seed, can spread from a bee to bee through beekeeping equipment including combs that have been extracted. If left untreated, the mites would kill any entire colony of the honeybee, government said. Next article is Bank Board Bureau era ends, new body to select chief of the public sector banks and insurance firms. With the government now clearing FSIB, the selection process of chief of insurance firm is expected to take place in the coming weeks. FSIB, that is the Financial Service Institution Bureau, the Appointments Committee of the Cabinet approved the government resolution for establishing Financial Service Institution Bureau in place of Bank Board Bureau. Financial Service Institution Bureau will now select the chief of public sector banks and insurance companies. The election process of top officials of public sector insurance companies was in limbo in the wake of Delhi High Court decision to strike down the power of Bank Board Bureau to select the directors and chief of public sector units insurers. The appointment of Banu Pratap Sharma, former chairman Bank Board Bureau, as initial chairperson of Financial Services Institution Bureau for a term of 2 years from the date of notification of the government resolution or until further orders, according to the note issued by the Department of Personnel and Training to the Department of Financial Services. Bank Board Bureau was originally set up in 2016 to select the CEOs and Executive Director of public sector banks. However, the government later entrusted Bank Board Bureau to select the chief of the insurance companies, with the government now clearing the Financial Service Institution Bureau. Next article is all about European Union agrees rules to rein in Wild West crypto market. Cryptocurrency companies will need a license and the customer safeguard to sell digital tokens in the European Union under the groundbreaking new rules agreed by bloc to tame the volatile Wild West market. Globally, crypto assets are largely unregulated, with the national operators in European Union only required to show controls for combating money laundering. Laws unprecedented on clubbing of cases and Supreme Court denial of Nipun Sharma plea. Friday's Supreme Court declined a plea by former BJP spokesperson Nipun Sharma to club the hate speech cases filed against her across the country. On what grounds are such cases clubbed? A person cannot be prosecuted more than once for same offence. Article 20, Clause 2 of the Constitution guarantees the right against double jeopardy. Multiple affairs on the same incident would virtually mean multiple trials. Approaching the High Court in Supreme Court in such a situation is procedural safeguard against the excessive litigation. In TT Anthony versus State of Kerala 2001 verdict, the Supreme Court held that there cannot be a second FIR on the same issue. There can be no second FIR and consequently there can be no fresh investigation on receipt of every subsequent information in respect of the same cognizable offence or same occurrence or incidences giving rise to one or more cognizable offences. Arnab Gaushambi versus Union of India expanded this ruling and said that similar FIRs in different jurisdictions also violates fundamental rights. Subjecting an individual to numerous proceedings arising in different jurisdictions on the basis of the same cause of action is a violation of fundamental rights. The court said that in such a situation, the petitioner can approach the Supreme Court to club the proceedings. This is what this article is all about. If you like the video, please do share, like, comment and subscribe. If you have any doubt, feel free to ask in the comment section. Thank you. Have a nice day.